Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see how modern women tell us what they consider to be red flags in a man. We'll also look at how they label a man who dates younger women as a red flag. Is it really a problem, or just fear of running out of options? We want you to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers before March, and with your support, we can make it happen. Don't forget to leave us your comments and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Now, let's get started.
If you match with a guy on a dating app and he does any of these three things before you meet him, red flags, honey, and don't say I didn't tell you. Okay, number one is asking for your Instagram and not your phone number. I understand that sometimes people want to screen you through social media and make sure you're normal, but let's be real. If someone is serious about meeting up with you, they're going to get your phone number and they're going to lock down a date. They're not going to try to add an extra buffer in between you and them, which in this case would be social media. So if they're asking for your Instagram, honestly, red flag. Number two, if they're facilitating a date, but it's a group situation. Listen, I understand some people are into this. I kind of feel like someone who wants to impress you is going to want your undivided attention. And group dynamics where you just roll by are usually very casual and they set the tone for just that, a casual relationship. And red flag number three, casual, loose plans made usually the day of or the night before. If someone respects you and values your time, they're going to want to make sure you are penciling them in advance. Okay, it's going to be a formal thing. Follow for more.
Stop it. Get some help.
Everything is a red flag when it's the simp inviting her. But if it's Chad with the apocalypse 666 to 6 feet tall, 6 figures in the bank, and a six-pack abs, the 666 from hell, suddenly, they don't see any red flags. Look at the logic. Asking for Instagram is a red flag, but if an attractive guy asks, it's exciting. Planning a group date means lack of interest, but if it's with the right guy, it's fun and spontaneous. Last-minute plans are disrespectful, but if it's a high-status man, it's mysterious and thrilling. It's not about standards, it's about who meets them. And then they wonder why men stop taking these rules seriously.
Two of the biggest red flags you will ever see in a man. One, if a guy says, I don't see age. Age is just a number whenever it comes to dating, whenever it comes to dating women. Like, you better see age or you're gonna wind up with criminal charges. You know what I mean? That's weird. You do see age, or will you also, as like a 30-year-old guy, date a 60-year-old woman? As a 70-year-old guy, are you dating other 70-year-old women? Okay, if not, you see age. Notice how they only say this to justify a really extreme, weird age gap. Red flag number two, pretty similar. Whenever a guy says, she's just mature for her age. No, you never grew up. You're creepy. I remember one time I was doing a musical. I was in a musical and I was 26 and there were like 20-year-olds around and I felt so much more mature than them, so much older. Not one time was I like, this person's mature for their age. Even if in that scenario, someone's mature for their age, you still know it's weird that if you're like a 35-year-old guy with a 20-year-old, again, the maturity, they're fresh out of high school. You're a grown adult pushing 40. Men dating women, young women bordering on being girls that could be their granddaughters, that could be their daughters, that is weird. These are just ways they try to convince you that it's not weird.
Here's the truth they don't want to accept. Men don't say age is just a number to date 60-year-old grandmothers. They say it because they can and prefer to date younger women. And that hurts them. The problem isn't morality, it's competition. Or maybe men are dating younger women, and you, now past 30, are watching your options shrink. You don't want men your age going after women in their 20s because it leaves you with fewer choices. Brothers, the wall doesn't forgive. They get outraged. But not when a 30-plus woman rejects a man her age for not being successful enough. It's only a problem when the market stops favoring them.
Oh my word, are you going to know about it if you get into a relationship with an insecure man? They have such fragile egos that they lose all sense of humour. They will pick fights. They are easily offended. You will just find yourself in arguments that you are like, how did we get here? They will exaggerate the truth or just tell blatant lies. anything that's going to increase their sense of status or self because they're uncomfortable with who they are. He will be more interested in himself, how he looks, how he's perceived. He will be more critical and judgmental of others, other men, other women. He'll need much more reassurance and validation than a confident, self-secure man. And when he doesn't get that reassurance or validation from you, he will look elsewhere to get it. He can be a little overbearing and possessive, not in a abusive way, but kind of a way that makes you feel like, oh, like I need space, like I need freedom. They can be jealous much more than the average guy, and needer. Like he'll just want you there for the sake of having you there. Like he'll just, to make him feel secure, you bring him a sense of comfort that he can't get by himself. He is likely to have trust issues from past relationships that he has not healed and brings all that baggage into your relationship for you to deal with. I'm not saying these men are bad men. They're not bad men. And we all have insecurities. Like we all will go through our own. But heal yourself. Like it's not up to your partner to heal you. Like they can't do that. And insecure men in general just tend to not work on themselves or to face problems head on. Like they prefer to just kind of like distract themselves, to mask it, to suppress it. And that's the only reason why I say just avoid. Unless this man's going to actually work on himself for you, he should really be doing it for himself. But if he's going to work on himself, then I'll wave the amber flag. But in general, it's a red flag for insecure men.
Brothers, what kind of men are these women dating? They're always talking about insecure, narcissistic, lying, controlling guys, but they never stop to ask themselves why they keep attracting the same type over and over again. Here's the truth. They chase men with status and charisma, then complain that those same men are self-centered and crave validation. No one forces them to choose them, yet they keep repeating the same pattern. And then they hit the wall, because the wall doesn't forgive. When they no longer get the same attention as before, they start wondering why they can't find a good man. But by then, of course, the good men have already learned to avoid them.
5 red flags in men you should never ignore. Never. There are always red flags in the beginning. Literally always. So I'm going to put you on. Please take notes. First and foremost is if he talks about his ex. Having a little conversation here and there. Maybe you guys are just sharing experiences. Not great, but whatever. Here's where the red flag comes in. If he is talking about his ex in a bad way, saying how awful she was, putting her down, over the top, talking bad about her, why won't he shut up about how awful she was? Is she awful because of something he did to her? The answer is yes. Next one is if he knows too many girls. Also follows so many girls on social media. Biggest red flag is if you go to his comment section and it's just all girls commenting. No, get him out of here. Absolutely not. The next one is he makes plans with you last minute, or he only hits you up at night. Typical F-boy, they really don't want a relationship. They just want a good time. They're not looking for anything long-term. On the other direction. Not responding to any hey you up text. No. It's giving minimal effort. No, he needs to work for you and actually act like a man and not just a boy who just wants to hang out at his house. I'm not doing that. If you always have to question what you guys are, how he's feeling about you, trust me, when a guy sees what he wants, he will get it. If you find yourself caught up on a guy that does any of these things, honestly, just run the other direction and find another one. Trust me, what one guy won't do, 20 others will. And that's just a fact. Let me know what you think. Bye.
Oh, hell no!
This is a woman who clearly loves dating Chads, but now she wants to give lessons on red flags. She complains about guys who badmouth their exes, have tons of women after them, and only want to see her at night. But those are exactly the men she keeps choosing over and over again. Then she drops the typical line, "What one guy won't do, 20 others will." Sure, while she still has options. But when the market stops responding, suddenly, the standards change. The reality is simple. If you keep running into the same type of man, the problem isn't the man. The problem is your choices.
Red flags in men part 2, because you guys clearly agreed with all of my part 1, and I've been through my fair share of red flags, and this is me telling you so that you don't have to learn the hard way yourself. Number 1, starting off strong. When they don't tell you where they're going. They don't tell you who they're going with. They don't tell you where they're going. They just say they're going out with the boys, or they have a busy day and they don't say exactly what it is, or they're very vague with where they're going and what they're doing and who they're doing it with. Regardless, they're hiding something, okay? They're hiding something. And they don't want you to know. Number 2, too much affection all at once. Now, this is the manipulator. This is the person that is giving you way too much, way too soon. And they're just doing that because they're infatuated with you and they don't really care about how far they get with you because they don't really want a big future. So they're just going to put it all out there so that they get you for a short period of time, or even that day, that night, whatever it is. And they're going to put it all on the table so they get you real quick so that they can let you go even quicker. And that could be the ones that drop the L-bomb like the first day or the second day or the third day that they see you out, because they don't really care if you are going to date, and they don't even care that they're going to say it later or if it means anything, because they just want you for the now. Number 3, if they don't answer your text or you at all for 24 hours. Nobody is too busy to not answer you for a whole 24 hours. If they gave a single flying shit about you, they will answer you at least once within the 24 hours. They will think about you and they will have to text you or reach out or even call you if they're in such a busy day. I'm telling you, if they go at least 24, and 48 means, oh my God, block them, okay? But 24 it's the limit. He doesn't. Number 4, now people are going to disagree with me with this, but if they've never gotten broken up with, they've dragged people on and they clearly don't care as much about that other person that they've ever been with or they've ever dated or they've ever had a situation with, that they can always end it first. If you can always end it first, that means that you weren't ever the one that cared so much. So you've never given your all to someone. You've never cared so much about someone. You've gotten into these meaningless relationships that don't mean as much to you as you've led on to the other person. So those are people that don't have much feelings for the people that they're in, or they don't really care to get that invested, or they know how to hold back. Because you know that you will be that victim that they leave in a year or 6 months or a week. And number 5, my favorite, if they are texting anyone from their past, literally anyone, any situationship, any hookup, any past relationship, whatever it is, they are holding on to the past and they are addicted to the past, and they are keeping them there just in case, and they are not fully investing themselves into you, and they don't even plan on it, because if they were and they were so infatuated and so happy and so intrigued by you, they would be okay with just you, not everyone else. And last but not least, if he is not a man of his word, he is not reliable, he doesn't follow through with the things he says, he clearly will never. And if he isn't doing it in the beginning and trying to impress you in the honeymoon phase and not following through on even the little things like taking you on a date, chances are he's probably never going to follow through, or very rarely ever going to follow through. So good luck out there.
Everything this woman said comes down to having control over the man. Basically, if he doesn't report his every move, doesn't reply within 24 hours, or doesn't cut all ties with his past, it's a red flag. But of course, if a man asked the same from her, he'd be controlling and toxic. There's no equality here, just rules designed to keep men under constant supervision. The worst part is that they disguise this as standards when, in reality, it's extreme insecurity. Because let's be honest, if a man really wants to cheat or lose interest, he'll do it with or without this ridiculous list. Obsessive control doesn't build relationships. It just turns men into emotional prisoners. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are some questions for you. Why do women fear so much when men date younger women? Do you have any red flags when it comes to women? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.